Transform your small space into a romantic classic garden, simple and stunning design ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite you on a journey today. Imagine walking into a home where every detail, both inside and outside, feels like a poetic blend of timeless beauty and modern functionality. Picture stepping out into a garden, not a vast estate or countryside villa, but a compact, carefully designed small space that radiates charm, romance, and classic elegance. This is the art of turning limited areas into something breathtaking. Something that doesn't just serve as decoration, but as an extension of lifestyle, identity, and aspiration. The subject before us is transforming small spaces into romantic classic gardens. At first glance, this may sound like an ambitious dream. After all, many homeowners or city dwellers often think, I don't have enough room to create something special. But the truth is, design is not about the scale of space. It is about the vision, the creativity, and the ability to balance style with function. And today, we'll uncover not only how such transformations are possible, but also why they are becoming a defining trend in architecture, landscaping, and lifestyle culture for the present and the future. Let us begin with a simple yet powerful notion: romance in design. Romance in architectural and garden language does not only mean candlelit dinners or roses climbing trellises. Romance means emotional resonance. It is about creating spaces that stir the heart, calm the mind, and awaken the imagination. A romantic classic garden embodies intimacy, nostalgia, and harmony. It speaks to the senses, the fragrance of herbs, the gentle rustle of leaves, the delicate glow of lanterns, the tactile warmth of natural stone underfoot. Now pair this romantic mood with classical aesthetics. The classical style is deeply rooted in European traditions, especially the architecture and gardens of the Renaissance and Baroque periods. Think of symmetry, balanced proportions, statues, fountains, and neatly trimmed greenery. But when scaled down for modern homes, especially those with small outdoor or indoor spaces, classical gardens take on a more subtle yet striking character. Instead of grandeur, they focus on detail. Instead of massive fountains, you might have a small stone bird bath. Instead of long corridors of manicured hedges, you might have an intimate archway with climbing ivy or jasmine. Why does this matter today? Because we are entering an era where space is increasingly limited, particularly in urban environments. Land is expensive, apartments are compact, and backyards are rare treasures. Yet our desire for beauty, calmness, and connection with nature has never been greater. As a result, the architectural and interior design industries are leaning toward concepts that maximize small spaces with extraordinary creativity. And the romantic classic garden is a shining example of this evolution. Let's take a moment to consider the world we live in. People are busier, surrounded by technology, and often overstimulated by noise and screens. The pandemic years taught us a valuable lesson. Home is not just a place to sleep, but a sanctuary. This realization sparked a wave of design trends focusing on comfort, wellness, and nature. Indoor plants surged in popularity. Balcony gardens became Instagram-worthy escapes. And suddenly, even the smallest courtyard or rooftop terrace could become a canvas for design dreams. Architects and designers responded quickly. They began reimagining small gardens as micro-worlds, places that offer relaxation, beauty, and even sustainability. The romantic classic garden fits seamlessly into this narrative because it delivers an atmosphere of elegance and intimacy while staying functional. It is not just decoration. It can be a place for meditation, morning coffee, evening conversations, or even remote work if one chooses to bring a laptop outdoors. In contemporary design magazines, exhibitions, and trend forecasts, we see growing emphasis on blending nostalgia with innovation. Homeowners want something that feels timeless yet relevant. They want designs that pay tribute to the beauty of the past but adapt to modern constraints. This is exactly where romantic classic gardens shine. They bring the soul of the Renaissance into the 21st century apartment or townhouse. A small space does not equal small potential. In fact, smaller areas often demand more creativity, more intelligent design, and more attention to detail. When you cannot rely on sheer scale, you must rely on storytelling through design. and storytelling is what makes a space unforgettable. Consider, for example, a tiny 10 square meter courtyard. Without design, it is simply a patch of concrete, perhaps used for storage. But with vision, it can be transformed into a miniature Eden. Imagine stepping out to find a mosaic-tiled pathway leading to a wrought iron bench, flanked by terracotta pots overflowing with lavender and rosemary. Overhead, a simple wooden pergola draped with climbing roses creates shade and privacy. In the center, a small stone water feature softly trickles, filling the air with a calming sound. Even at night, soft, warm lights hidden among the plants glow like stars, creating an atmosphere of quiet romance. Suddenly, a plain courtyard becomes the heart of the home. This transformation isn't just about aesthetics. It changes how people live. A family may gather here for dinner. A couple may find it the perfect spot to share morning tea. An individual may use it as a place to read, think, or simply breathe. The small garden becomes not just a design project, but a lifestyle enhancer. One fascinating dimension of today's design culture is the merging of classical ideas with modern technology and sustainability. Traditional gardens may have required constant maintenance, large budgets, and sprawling grounds. Today, however, innovations allow us to scale beauty responsibly. For example, smart irrigation systems ensure plants thrive without wasting water. Vertical gardens maximize greenery in tiny spaces, while doubling as air purifiers. LED lighting brings classical lantern aesthetics while being energy efficient, and multifunctional furniture makes even the smallest corners usable for both relaxation and storage. When these innovations meet the romantic classical vision, the result is enchanting. It's like taking the charm of an old-world garden and giving it new life with today's values: sustainability, practicality, and adaptability. As we look to the future, one thing becomes clear. People will continue to seek meaningful emotional connections with their living spaces. The future of garden and home design is not just about trends. It is about timeless human needs: beauty, calm, connection, and inspiration. The romantic classic garden will not fade into the past. Rather, it will evolve with the times. We may see more hybrid styles where classical arches meet minimalist structures, or where Mediterranean herbs blend with Asian-inspired serenity. We will also see technology become invisible yet essential, enabling gardens to thrive with minimal intervention while preserving their natural look. Design is not about size, it is about vision. Even the smallest space can hold the grandeur of romance, the dignity of classicism, and the spirit of modern innovation. When approaching the transformation of a small space into a romantic classic garden, one must begin with the foundation of design principles. These are not random ideas, but rather guidelines that have shaped architecture and landscaping for centuries. The first principle is proportion. Even in a tiny courtyard, the proportions between paths, plants, furniture, and decorative elements must be carefully balanced. A narrow walkway should lead to a focal point. A small bench must not overwhelm the surrounding greenery. Every item should feel like it belongs in harmony with the whole composition. The second principle is symmetry. Classical design thrives on symmetry, a sense of balance that pleases the human eye. In a small garden, symmetry can be expressed not by grand avenues or large structures, but by thoughtful placement. 2 terracotta pots framing a doorway, a pair of lanterns flanking a bench, or matching vines climbing on either side of an arch. This symmetry is subtle, but it creates a rhythm that is deeply calming. The third principle is layering. A successful garden feels rich because of depth and variety. In small spaces, layering is achieved by arranging elements vertically and horizontally. Low-growing herbs such as thyme or chamomile can form the base, medium-height flowers like roses or peonies can rise in the middle, and climbing plants such as jasmine or ivy can complete the top layer. This creates the illusion of abundance, even in limited space. The choice of materials plays a vital role in shaping atmosphere. Natural stone pathways suggest timelessness. Wrought iron furniture recalls European elegance. Wooden pergolas add warmth and rustic charm. Even in modern times, these materials carry an emotional resonance that synthetic alternatives often fail to capture. The texture of stone underfoot, the cool touch of iron in the evening air, the scent of wood warming in the sun, these sensory details are what make a garden romantic and memorable. Color is another essential tool. A romantic classic garden often leans on a palette of soft, natural tones, creamy whites, deep greens, earthy browns, and touches of pastel pink, lavender, or pale yellow. Bold colors are used sparingly, perhaps in a single flowering rose or a painted ceramic pot. This restraint ensures that the garden feels serene, not chaotic. Light also plays its part. In the daytime, sunlight filtered through climbing plants casts dappled shadows on the ground. At night, warm golden lamps transform the space into a dreamlike retreat. Focal points anchor the design. In larger gardens, this could be a grand fountain or statue. In smaller gardens, it may be a bird bath, a single elegant sculpture, or even a carefully pruned topiary. The purpose of a focal point is to draw the eye and create a sense of destination. Without it, a garden risks feeling scattered. With it, even a small space gains depth and purpose. Now let us think about functionality. A garden is not only for looking at, it is for living in. Every design must serve the lifestyle of its owner. If someone enjoys reading outdoors, a shaded corner with a comfortable chair and side table becomes essential. If a family loves dining together, a compact bistro set surrounded by fragrant plants makes the space inviting. If meditation or yoga is important, then a simple open area with calming greenery is ideal. Functionality and beauty are not opposites, they must be woven together. Water, one of the most powerful natural elements, plays an important role in romantic garden design. Even the smallest fountain or wall-mounted water feature brings movement and sound into the space. The gentle trickle of water masks urban noise, refreshes the atmosphere, and enhances the sensory experience. Combined with stone or ceramic basins, water features add both elegance and tranquility. Plants are the true soul of any garden. In a romantic classical design, plant selection is more than aesthetic, it is symbolic. Roses speak of love and tradition. Lavender evokes calm and carries fragrance into the evening air. Jasmine and honeysuckle bring sweetness. Rosemary and thyme add utility, allowing the garden to nourish both body and spirit. Evergreen shrubs provide structure, ensuring the garden remains beautiful even in winter. Carefully choosing a palette of plants ensures that the garden changes with the seasons but never loses its essence. Designing pathways, no matter how short, adds a sense of journey. A few mosaic tiles leading from a doorway to a bench create a feeling of exploration. Curves, even in tiny spaces, soften the layout and create intimacy. Straight lines feel formal, but a winding path invites curiosity. The journey through the garden, though brief, becomes an experience. Privacy is another critical element. In urban settings where neighbors are often close, creating a sense of seclusion is key to romance. Climbing plants on trellises, tall potted trees, or wooden lattice screens can block unwanted views while maintaining airflow and light. A private garden becomes a secret retreat, a place where one feels truly at ease. Furniture and decor add the finishing touches. A wrought iron bench, a pair of vintage lanterns, or a rustic table instantly establishes character. Textiles, cushions, throws, or outdoor rugs introduce comfort while complementing the color scheme. Small statues, birdhouses, or even antique mirrors reflect personality. The key is moderation. Too much decoration overwhelms. Too little leaves the space feeling incomplete. The integration of modern innovation ensures practicality. Drip irrigation saves time and water. Solar-powered lanterns provide soft light without electricity bills. Foldable or modular furniture adapts to different occasions. Vertical planters expand greenery without sacrificing ground space. These subtle technologies allow a garden to be both traditional in spirit and contemporary in function. Sound and fragrance shape the unseen layers of atmosphere. The chirping of birds attracted by feeders, the rustling of leaves in a soft breeze, the fragrance of blooming flowers, all of these immerse the visitor in a sensory world. A romantic garden is not merely something to see, it is something to feel, hear, and breathe in. Seasonal adaptability ensures year-round enjoyment. In spring, bulbs such as tulips and daffodils burst with color. In summer, roses and lavender reach full bloom. In autumn, climbing vines may turn shades of gold and crimson. In winter, evergreen shrubs and subtle lighting keep the garden alive. Planning for the seasons means the garden is never static, always evolving like a living artwork. Finally, let us not forget sustainability. A garden is more romantic when it respects nature. Using native plants reduces water consumption. Composting garden waste creates fertile soil. Rainwater collection nourishes plants without waste. Sustainability is not just a trend. It is an ethical choice that enhances the beauty of the garden while protecting the environment. Through proportion, symmetry, layering, material choice, and careful attention to atmosphere, a small space can achieve the timeless elegance of a romantic classic garden. It is a design journey that blends history with modernity, aesthetics with practicality, and emotion with function. What emerges is more than a garden. It is a sanctuary, a piece of living art that enriches every moment spent within it. Looking toward the future of romantic classic gardens, we see a fascinating dialogue between tradition and innovation. The charm of classical design will never disappear. It resonates too deeply with human emotion, but it will continue to adapt to contemporary lifestyles and emerging global challenges. Future gardens will not merely be spaces of beauty. They will be multifunctional ecosystems, places where well-being, sustainability, and aesthetics meet in seamless harmony. One of the clearest directions is the rise of compact urban living. As cities expand and land becomes increasingly expensive, architects and homeowners must learn to craft sanctuaries in the smallest of spaces. The romantic classic garden will respond by growing vertically, by extending onto balconies, rooftops, and even indoor courtyards. Walls will become canvases for ivy, jasmine, and green installations. Rooftops will turn into intimate terraces with pergolas, seating corners, and fragrant herb beds. This vertical expansion means the romance of a garden is no longer limited to those with traditional yards. It becomes accessible to apartments and high-rise homes. Another key development is the blending of cultures. In today's interconnected world, design inspirations are no longer confined by geography. A romantic classical garden may carry European symmetry and stone pathways, but it may also borrow from Asian minimalism or Mediterranean vibrancy. Lavender may grow alongside bonsai. A wrought iron bench may sit beneath a bamboo trellis. This fusion creates new interpretations of romance, ones that feel deeply personal and reflective of global diversity. Technology, often considered a disruptor of tradition, will instead become an invisible ally. Imagine lighting systems that automatically adjust brightness to mimic candlelight during twilight hours, creating an enchanting glow. Picture smart sensors that monitor soil moisture and deliver water only when needed, ensuring plants flourish with minimal waste. Consider augmented reality apps that allow homeowners to visualize their garden designs before planting, making creativity limitless. In the near future, technology will not replace the soul of gardens, but will act as a quiet guardian, supporting beauty without drawing attention to itself. Climate change will also shape garden design. As temperatures fluctuate and weather becomes less predictable, resilience will become a defining characteristic. Plants chosen for gardens will not only be beautiful, but also adaptable. Drought-resistant herbs, hardy evergreens, and climate-smart perennials will take the stage. Romantic classic gardens will retain their elegance, but with species that ensure longevity and ecological balance. Water features may recycle their flow, and irrigation will prioritize conservation. This ensures that the romance of a garden is sustainable, capable of thriving in tomorrow's world. Well-being will remain central. Gardens are already seen as sanctuaries, but in the future, their role in health will become even more significant. Designers will emphasize therapeutic qualities: scented plants that reduce stress, gentle water sounds that calm the mind, shaded alcoves for meditation, and layouts designed to encourage mindful walking. Scientific research continues to confirm the benefits of biophilic design, and romantic gardens naturally embody this principle. They are not just backdrops for life, they are active participants in emotional and mental health. Community spaces may also adopt this model. Beyond private homes, small public courtyards, cafes, and boutique hotels will integrate romantic classic gardens to create intimate experiences for guests. A restaurant terrace framed with roses and climbing vines becomes more than a dining area. It becomes a memory. A boutique hotel courtyard with lantern-lit pathways and lavender beds becomes more than accommodation. It becomes a story that travelers carry with them. These shared gardens democratize beauty, making it a collective pleasure rather than a private luxury. The personalization of gardens will define the future as well. No two gardens will be identical because each will reflect its owner's values, memories, and aspirations. One family may design theirs as a place for children to play among flowers. Another may build it as a romantic corner for anniversaries and celebrations. Another may focus on culinary uses, growing herbs and edible flowers alongside roses and jasmine. The classical framework provides elegance, but personal stories give it soul. Lighting, increasingly central to atmosphere, will continue to evolve. While classical lanterns remain iconic, modern reinterpretations will create magical effects. Soft pools of light hidden among plants, solar-powered strings twinkling like stars across a pergola, or even projection lighting casting patterns reminiscent of stained glass, all of these transform the garden after dusk into a realm of dreams. Night gardens will become as important as day gardens, ensuring romance at every hour. Sound design, though often overlooked, will take on new importance. Beyond water features, subtle speakers may provide ambient soundscapes, bird songs, distant chimes, or soft classical music that blend seamlessly with natural elements. The future garden may be a symphony of both nature and art, tailored to mood and occasion. Fragrance, too, will remain a cornerstone. Designers will curate plant selections to ensure waves of scent throughout the year. Spring jasmine, summer roses, autumn herbs, and winter evergreens combine to create an olfactory narrative that shifts with the seasons. Imagine entering your garden and instantly being greeted by a fragrance that reflects the time of year, a living calendar written in scent. Ultimately, the romantic classic garden will endure because it speaks to universal desires, the longing for beauty, the need for calm, the connection to nature, and the joy of timeless style. Whether nestled in the corner of an apartment balcony or stretching across a countryside courtyard, its essence remains the same. It is a place where design meets emotion, where history whispers into the present, and where every detail, stone, leaf, water, and light, works together to create harmony. The small space is no limitation. It is an invitation. It challenges creativity, rewards vision, and delivers intimacy that large gardens sometimes cannot achieve. In a small, romantic, classic garden, nothing is wasted, everything has purpose, and every glance reveals something new. It is an orchestra played on a miniature stage, yet the music is full, rich, and unforgettable. As we step into the future, the message is clear. Romance is timeless, classic design is adaptable, and gardens are not luxuries but necessities of the human spirit. The romantic classic garden, simple yet amazingly beautiful, will continue to inspire architects, designers, and homeowners to transform the smallest spaces into sanctuaries of elegance and love. In doing so, it ensures that beauty is never a matter of size, but always a matter of vision, imagination, and heart.